I don't think there's been a month where I've read my entire monthly TBR. Is that true? I think that's true. I'm determined to make this month the exception because I'm genuinely so excited about every single book on my September TBR, but I have a 10-book TBR and only 1 week left to finish it. So I do have 10 books on my September TBR, but I have read 4 of them, so we've got quite a head start to this video. If you saw my last video, then you saw a reading vlog of these 4 finished books. The 4 books I've already finished are a novel love story, which I thought was okay. I gave it 3 stars. My Killer Vacation, another very okay one, 2 stars, and I DNF'd it. Killer Instinct, I loved. I gave it 4.5 stars. And Wild as the Witch I also really loved, and I gave it 3.75 stars. And then the 6 books that I still have left to read. The first one is The Stolen Heir, which I'm currently in the middle of. And then the second book in that duology is The Prisoner's Throne. Got a little novella, Powerful. Say You Swear, which is a college sports romance. Juniper Hill, a small town romance. And lastly, Before I Let Go, a second chance romance. Also, 2 books that are not on my September TBR, but that I do want to read soon are The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden and The Wild Huntress by Emily Lloyd-Jones. And both of these books came in my October Book of the Month box, and Book of the Month has kindly sponsored today's video. I'm a huge Frida McFadden fan, so when I saw that this was on the list, I got so excited. This book follows Sydney, who finds who she thinks is the perfect man, but then there's a string of murders by a mystery man who dates and then kills his victims, and she starts to get suspicious of the guy she's dating. And then I got The Wild Huntress. This book takes place during a brutal competition, and I just feel like fantasy books shaking hands with a brutal competition is my perfect fantasy. And if you haven't heard of Book of the Month, they are a online book subscription box. They send their readers a curated list to choose from every month, which I love. Every time I get the list, it literally feels like Christmas just because I trust their book taste so much. I love that that also saves you so much time because you don't have to do all the research and hunting for your next good read. And my favorite thing is that they have such a great mix of authors that you probably heard of and love, but also authors that you may have never heard of. There are so many books that I would have never found without Book of the Month. I also love that these books look so pretty on my bookshelf. I even have some on my shelf behind me. They also have the best price I have ever seen on new release hardcovers. You can use the code PUMPKIN to get your first book for $5 this month. I have done so many Book of the Month sponsorships, and I still get like shocked every time because it's just such an amazing deal. So thank you again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. I love them so much. Now let's get back to reading my September TBR. It's December 18th, so technically there's 13 days left in the month, but I'm going on a trip with my mom to Canada. So like I said, today's September 18th, and I have until September 24th, exactly 7 days to read as many of these books as I can. So if I did read all 10 of these books, it would be in less than a month. It would be in 24 days, which would be quite crazy. That'd be kind of cool, like quite a feat to accomplish. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all 6 of these, but that would be sick if I did. And like I said, our first book is gonna be The Stolen Heir. Also, my reading chair that normally sits in this corner has been stolen by a cute cat. I put my chair in the living room the other day so I could sit right in front of the TV and play Stardew Valley. It's a great gaming chair, and now I must find somewhere else to sit because he is too cute to disturb. I did a bunch of reading this morning and I got to page 105, and when I opened my book, I had this bookmark already inside of it, the Sam Myers bookstore, which is in Chicago. I bought this book when I was in Chicago. I was there and I filmed a book shopping for 24 hours video, and so it's so cool that this bookmark was in here. It feels like a little memory holder of the time I bought this book, because I would have totally forgotten that that's when I got The Stolen Heir. Anyway, if you're not familiar with this book, it basically is associated like a spin-off series from the Cruel Prince series, which was such a popular series and one of my favorite fantasy series ever. Definitely in my top 5 fantasy series that I've read. The Cruel Prince series follows Jude and Cardan, and then this duology follows Oak, who is Jude's brother. And so it takes place in the same world as the Cruel Prince series, but after the events of the Cruel Prince series. And so Oak is a prince, and then we also have Ren, who is royalty of her own, but her court is in shambles right now. They need to work together because they have a common enemy, and then they also have a history from the Cruel Prince series. So like, it's just a great setup for a book because I already know the characters from the Cruel Prince series. I'm just auto invested, which is great. I am not that much further. I'm only on page 120, and something just happened that I did not expect, and The romance in this book, I already can feel like it's gonna be one of those like torturous romances, like those romances that just make your heart hurt with like how badly you want them to be together. I mean, we're still so early in, so I'm making a bold claim, don't know that for sure, but like I'm already feeling that feeling of like want them together so bad. But I know it's gonna be like a complicated and painful journey for them because yeah, basically like Oak needs her to help him on this mission. So she's like questioning everything that he does. Like, is he saying this or doing that because he needs her help or like because he likes her? Like, you know, you cannot trust what he's saying when there is like multiple things that he wants from her. The reading chair is back in its rightful corner and it feels good. Anyway, I stayed up till like midnight last night reading, was getting so into the book, and I'm now on page 250, which I think is quite a bit further than the last time I saw you guys. I talked about this in my reading my physical TBR video, but like when a book makes you stay up late reading, it's just the best feeling ever. That's the good news. There is some bad news. I did spoil something that I think is kind of a big spoiler for myself, and I'm so mad at literally nobody but myself. It was so avoidable. Basically what happened was these characters, Ren and Oak, like I said, are in the Cruel Prince series, and I read that series a while ago. I felt like it would be more meaningful if I could remember more about their characters and what they did in the Cruel Prince series. So I was trying to look up basically just like a little recap of what they did in the Cruel Prince trilogy. And I found this page that was like giving lots of information about the characters, and I was like, okay, perfect, this is exactly what I want. But it was not just a recap of the characters in the Cruel Prince series. It also had information from this duology. I don't know why, I just assumed it would be spoiler free. To me, if something gives no spoiler warning, then I assume it's spoiler free, but that is not always the case. I just always need to assume that everything has spoilers and be very cautious when Googling, and I was not. I only read one thing, and then I was like, oh, I think that's a spoiler, so I'm gonna stop reading this page. So there's obviously still so much about this plot that I do not know. Basically, the characters are looking for something, and I know where the thing is that they're looking for. I think it's gonna be like a big plot twist, either at the end of this book or the next one. So no plot twist for me, sadly. But it also is kind of interesting to read a book from the perspective of like knowing more information than the characters. Literally just me trying to make myself feel better. I'm on page 331, and the ending in this book, like so much is happening and so much has been surprising me, which I'm so happy by, because I was scared that, like I said, I had like spoiled the whole ending, but multiple things have like already caught me off guard, which is great. This book was so good. The ending, I love when books give you like whiplash at the end, because just like so much happens, and when like all different like little details tie in together, I'm obsessed with that. And I feel like we got that with this book. I'm gonna say 4.5 stars. I really liked it. And I just love Oak and Ren so much. First book of the video completed, and also halfway through my TBR. This morning I started The Prisoner's Throne and got all the way to page 62 so far. This one is from Oak's POV, which is so cool because the first one was from Ren's POV, so I definitely didn't expect that, and I'm loving that. But everything has gone horribly wrong, and I do not know how it's going to be made right by the end of the book. It feels like so much needs to happen before there could be a happy ending. Almost like it should be like a whole big series, but we just have this book. So I'm feeling stressed for the characters. Also, can we take a second to appreciate how absolutely stunning this book is? Look at the sprayed edges and the art. Love Ren, love Oak. Okay, let's go. Something just happened. I'm on page 121 that I am so excited about. Like, everything seemed so dismal, and it still is, but like we have the first glimmer of hope, and I'm also hoping that we're about to get more romance. I don't know for sure, but it's definitely, in case you're wondering, a subtle romance subplot similar to the way it was in the Cruel Prince series. But honestly, I kind of like that. It kind of makes me more obsessed. Like, the more I'm given breadcrumbs, the more I like crave more. So like slow burns, subtle romance subplots just make me that much more like obsessed. Happy Monday. The last time I saw you guys was on Friday. I try not to film on the weekend. I still will like read for fun, but just to take like a full YouTube break. But I did finish The Prisoner's Throne over the weekend, and I really liked it. I'm gonna say 4.25 stars. I will say I liked the first book, The Stolen Heir, better. Ren had quite like, I would say, like a character arc and character change in this book, and I totally understand why, but I do think I kind of like resonated and connected more with Ren's character in book 1. But other than that, like, I really liked it. I'm like so happy I got to re-enter like Elfame and the whole world from the Cruel Prince series with this duology, but I'm also sad because it's over. Like, unless Holly Black writes another spin-off series, I will never be in that world again. And that's so sad. That's like one of the saddest things about being a reader, is once the book is closed, once you've read it, no more of those characters in that world. It's like a little mini grieving after every amazing book or series. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books on the TBR complete, 4 left, and not that many days left of this challenge. So it's not looking great for finishing every book, but I do feel like I've made quite good progress. And I did start another book over the weekend. I started Say You Swear, which was a risky move because this book is thick. It's over 500 pages and the audiobook is over 17 hours long. I always look at the length of an audiobook to kind of get like a gauge for how long the book will be, and that is really long. So if I'm going for quantity of trying to finish as many books as possible, this could be a tragic and fatal move. But I think I was just really in the mood for a college romance. I love college romances so much. It's my favorite age group to read by far, and the last college romance I read, Daydream, in August, I didn't love. It didn't quite scratch the itch of a college romance for me. So it's been a while since I've read a college romance that I really, really liked. And even though this book is long, I do feel like if a book is really, really good, I'll read it really fast because I won't get distracted. I'll want to spend like all of my time reading it. So I'm hoping that that's what this book does to me. I'm currently on page 94 and I'm liking the book a lot so far. Something that I love about college romances is I always have big friend groups. My only tiny complaint with that though is that we're basically thrown like right into like the whole friend group hanging out, and there's a lot of characters. It's been a little hard for me to keep track of like who's who. I'm getting better at it now that I'm 94 pages in. I do wish we were kind of more slowly introduced to the friend group. I was like this close away from Googling like a little character bio of all the characters in this book just so I could better like keep them straight, and then I was like, no, what are you doing? That's literally how I spoiled The Stolen Heir for myself, was Googling about characters. So not gonna do that, just gonna figure it out on my own. I've been reading so much today and I'm on page 228 and I'm really liking the book. It's definitely scratching that college romance itch that I said I was having. Like the passion and like longing and like tension between the character. I feel like the author does a great job of writing, and the character is like so hot, which I love, like the way he's described. Oh my gosh. I will say though that I am surprised. This book is so highly rated. It's so highly rated. It's 4.3 stars on Goodreads, which I own like just under 200 unread books, and this one is in the top 10 of the highest rated books that I own, which is wild. And I'm kind of surprised that it's like that highly rated because, like I said, although I am like really loving it, it definitely feels more of just like a fun college romance book. But I am surprised it's like that universally beloved, because I don't know if I'm feeling like, oh, this is one of the highest rated books I've ever read kind of feels. But we still have a good chunk of the book left, which is also confusing me because I can't really figure out why there would need to be like over 300 pages left. That's wild. And I guess I haven't really explained the plot, but basically our main character, she is in this big friend group, and one of the guys in the friend group, Chase, who's also her brother's best friend, she's had a crush on forever. She's like been in love with him for a long time secretly, and he finally like notices her when they're on this trip at the beach, but he's like very hot and cold towards her. It seems like he's into her but also doesn't know what he wants, and he's like scared because that's his best friend's little sister. But then she also has met Noah at college, who's very like charming and sweet, so she's exploring that with him, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So far so good. I'm enjoying it. What? Oh my god, something crazy just happened, and my heart is like in my stomach. It is 4 p.m. I've been reading pretty much most all of today, and I'm on page 418, so I have like 120 pages left, and oh my god, so much has happened. There was like 3 things in a row that were like bam, 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 like wild and heartbreaking and so sad. I will say one of them I did predict quite a while ago was gonna happen, but other than that, like everything really caught me off guard. I'm just like hoping that nothing else bad is gonna happen. The characters have so much healing they need to do, and I hope we're just on the path of healing for the rest of the book because they need it. Oh my god, it's just so sad. It's like Meagan Brandy stabbed me with a knife and just keeps twisting. Like, it hurts. Oh my god, another line that's just a gut punch. Diet of winter, couldn't be colder. Every day trying not to be a lost case. Oh my gosh, it just started raining so loud. Can you hear it? I love when that happens when I'm reading. Like, it's such the perfect reading sound, and also the perfect somber mood for this book because it's still breaking my heart.
The other elements and the other nature will help you become whole.
I finished the book. It was so good. It was literally so good. I'm gonna say 5 stars, which I did not expect when I started it. I feel like, if you guys remember, I was like, I am so curious or like surprised that it's so highly rated, and now I get it. I get the hype. Like, it's literally so good, especially the last like 150 pages and the ending. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. It was so good. I feel like I lived 3 lifetimes while reading this book. I feel like I read a whole trilogy, but it was only 1 book. Like, so much happened, which I didn't expect. Also, okay, so this book is technically the first book in a series, and as you guys know, I'm in the middle of so many series and I don't need to be starting any new ones. But like, each book can be read as standalone in the way that most like college romances are, where each book just follows like a different person in the friend group, something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll just read the first book in this series and then just stop there because it's standalone. Like, it won't be a new series I'm adding to my list. 1 and done. Not gonna read book 2. And now I'm like, it was so good. Am I gonna read book 2? Do I need to add this to my series list? Book 2 comes out October 1st. Literally so soon. All right, so technically yesterday was the last day of this reading challenge. Yesterday was day 7, but I think I'm gonna add another day. Basically, there's kind of like weird timing with this video because, like I said, there are still several more days left in September, but I am going on a trip to Canada with my family, and I'm not going today to Canada, but I did want to leave today free to edit this video, which is why I wanted to finish reading yesterday. But I just really want to read another book. I feel like it would feel so accomplishing to read 1 more. So even if I have to edit this video tonight, so be it, because I'd like to check 1 more book off our September TBR. Right now, the TBR is 70% complete. Let's see if we can get it to 80% completion. And today is actually gonna be the last day. So I have to read 1 book in 1 day today. And the most realistic book that I think I can finish in 1 day is Powerful. This is a little novella. This is the book after Powerless, which 5-star series, obsessed with that series. This book follows Adina, who is Pei's friend. Pei is the main character in Powerless. I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna be about, but I have heard that it's sad, and I just read a sad book yesterday. So am I ready to go through pain a second time? Actually, I feel like yes. Reading a sad book yesterday has made me kind of excited to read another like heartfelt, sad, emotional book today. I have no idea how long it's gonna take me to read this book. It's just over 200 pages. This book is quite small, like compared to a normal hardcover. So I feel like it's not actually 200 normal size book pages. I feel like it'd be fun to time myself, see how long it takes me to read 200 tiny book pages. I love the dedication. It says, to the girls with softer dreams, your purpose is just as powerful. Adina is not your typical fantasy character. She's definitely like the soft, sweet girl, which like if I was in a fantasy world, I think I'd be most like her. Not like the fighter type. Cool to see. If I was in a fantasy world, how could I fit into that world? And I think that's Adina. So I'm very excited to read her own story. I just finished the prologue and we just got the story of how Adina and Pei met. What a cool scene. I'm only on page 36 and I'm already so invested. We've met the love interest and Lauren Roberts just described him as so attractive, and he is like my perfect male love interest, like very snarky, and he already like can't stop looking at her, like thinks she's beautiful. I'm in love, and they've literally only just met. I'm a little over halfway. I'm on page 122, and like, why is this book so good? And it's a novella. I literally feel like I'm reading a full like 300-page book, but just in shorter form. Also, you guys, I saw literally this morning it was announced that Powerless is being made into a TV show. I'm so excited. It's so cute. I have like 30 pages left and I fear this is the beginning of the ending. If you've read Powerless, you know the ending to this book, and it's almost worse knowing, because like despite like how cute and like amazing this book has been, I have just been dreading the ending. Part of me is like hoping there's gonna be a different ending, but like how could there be? Like there is not gonna be. But why am I like still hopeful there could be? No. I finished the book. I don't even know what to think. I feel like, my heart, it hurts. Why did Lauren Roberts do this to me and to all of us? But also it was so good. I literally would have read this as an entire full-length book. Like if this was like a 350, 400-page book, I would have eaten that up. It was so good. I think I'm gonna say 4 stars, just because like some moments did feel like, I guess like a little rushed, or like I wanted to explore certain things longer, but obviously it's like a novella. I could have read way more about Adina and Mac's relationship and them like getting to know each other and them being happy. Honestly, I wanted like more before like the conflict at the end. But yeah, like one of my favorite novellas. Can't think of a past novella I've read that's probably gonna stick with me like this one will. And I hope that Mac is gonna make an appearance in the main series. With everything that happened to him in this book, I feel like he could be really recruited for a certain cause, if you know what I'm saying, if you've read the books. Oh, I need to pause my timer. Okay, 3 hours and 20 minutes is how long it took me to read this book, so quite a fast read. All right, 7 books total for this month. Obviously Powerful, you just heard my opinion on. Loved it. Say You Swear, my only 5-star this month. So my favorite read of the month, officially crowned. I feel like 4.5-star duology, I really liked it. Doesn't compare as much to the Cruel Prince series, but literally still so good. And now for the books that I did not read in this video. A novel love story. I thought the concept of this book was so cool, but then the romance to me felt off. 3 stars, but cool idea. Killer Instinct, so fun, so twisty. The love triangle, always tearing my heart apart. 4.5 stars. My Killer Vacation was a DNF, 2 stars. Just like felt very cringy to me. And then Wild as a Witch, which I gave 3.75 stars. Would really recommend for fall. Very cozy, but still has high stakes, which I really like. And in the last 8 days, I read 1,462 pages. That's a lot. All right, and with that, I can now do the very exciting and very satisfying task of moving all these books to my finished reads bookshelf.